you think I'm a moron? Do you think I don't have a mind for like I can't make, what the hell is America all about? You just said I'm a moron. That's what you just said to half of America, hey, America, you're a moron. You can't think for yourself. That's why you need me, because I went to this elitist university called whatever, Columbia. I don't know where Rachel went to. And I know what's best.
Welcome back, everyone. Today, Patrick Bet-David brought on this woke idiot here to his show with this woke journalist from CNN and MSNBC, and absolutely demolished him and tore him to absolute shreds here on the PBD podcast on the Patrick Bet-David YouTube channel, where Patrick Bet-David tears this woke idiot live on the PBD podcast here. Let's get into it.
Should be addressed in good faith by people who have some idea about how to determine that. I don't know the source of COVID.
Yeah, but Jeff,
I mean, that's that to me.
Asking,
but that these questions that become politicized, it seems ridiculous to me to have political debates about something that is a scientific question that people should address. And I'm agreeing that there should be investigations of all that stuff.
By the way, Brett Baer, did you see the interview with Trump?
Yes, I saw excerpts.
Did you see? Did you think he did a good job?
No. Oh, you mean Brett Baer?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Brett Baer did a very good job.
I agree. I think Brett Baer did a great job.
Good job.
And you know how he said, this person got fired. That person got fired. This person got fired. Why do you not have a good, hire? So he asked a tough question. And then, hey, why is it that you're keeping on to it? They were trying to get it from you. Well, I wanted to first make sure. Okay, so guess what? People want to know. Great. But people want to also know with the Corvette back and with the notes, what you had there is with Biden. People want to know as well. People want to know
and there is an investigation going on Biden. Absolutely.
All I'm saying to you is people want to know. That we want to know what's behind the truth. The comment about the fact that I'm not an epidemiologist, I'm not the expert, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm totally get it. The element of that approach, when you say something like, well, you're not the expert in this and you're not the expert in that, there is a very clear, pompous, elitist message behind that. Just like this week when MSNBC and CNN, well, we know the president is talking right now, Jake Tapper and Rachel Maddow, but we know the president is talking, but we are not going to let him have any airtime, and we're going to update you on whatever he says that's necessary, because we know he's going to tell lies. I'm sorry. Do you think I'm a moron? Do you think I don't have a mind for I can't make, what the hell is America all about? You just said I'm a moron. That's what you just said to half of America, hey, America, you're a moron. You can't think for yourself. That's why you need me, because I went to this elitist university called whatever, Columbia. I don't know where Rachel went to. And I know what's best for you. Guess what? I don't like that. That's why I left Iran. There's a reason why we don't live in Iran for 10 years. 10 years old when I lived in Iran, we went to Germany at a refugee camp for 2 years. Then we came to America, because I want me to make the stupid decision on who I vote for, not you. Let me make the stupid decision of voting for Biden or Trump. There's a part of that where when we say, I'm not the expert, you're not this, well, no, you're a smart guy. That's why you're here. You're not a regular schlep off the street that doesn't know what. You've been involved in a lot of different things I've investigated. All I'm saying is, for us to take the approach as well to say, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't have this. You don't know what you're talking about. No, we're here because we don't know everything, but we're here to question things and say, this kind of sounds a little fishy. Don't you want to know about it? I do. Well, no, let's just live in the future. Forget about the past. No, I don't want to do that.
I completely agree that,
Patrick Bet-David just absolutely, cooks this guy, man. And it is getting old, the fact that, people just go to Ivy League schools and they get a degree and people just act as if their word is gospel. At that point, it's not even bad. It's the journalist, but it's also bad at other areas as well. This guy being a journalist, we can stick with that for this story's sake. I just know it does hold some weight. And let me know in the comments how you feel about this. And I know it does hold some weight to graduate from an Ivy League school, undergrad, college, and all that good stuff. But because I understand the politics that go into it now and all the stuff on the back end, it really doesn't hold much weight to me whenever I see someone graduate from an Ivy League school. I don't really care that much or at all, really. And it doesn't disqualify them to me by any means. I don't want you to think that I think it's disqualifying them, but it's almost like you graduate from the schools and you just start getting handouts and everything and handed credibility and handed connections. And there's so many people who have not gone to college at all or graduated from college at all, but have become hyper successful and are much more qualified to speak on some of these things than these journalists from Ivy League schools are speaking on when it comes to stuff like 2020, the panda, the lockdowns, and all these Ivy League idiots were saying that we should be locked down for longer, and this jab is gonna be safe and effective, and if you take this jab, you will be safe, and not all the BS that goes. I don't want to get into much of that yet, but there's people who had never gone to college at all warning people, saying it might not be super safe, not tested. We shouldn't just go with the crowd, but everyone just wrote them off and said all the science and the smart people and Ivy League people are backing them. But let me know in the comments below how you feel about this. Seriously, curious to hear your thoughts.
We don't have tests to determine whether you're entitled to express an opinion on a subject. Well, the only point I was making was there are certain scientific questions, like the source of COVID, that it really does require some considerable expertise in the subject in order to have a reasonable opinion about it. That's the only point I was making, I'm not saying that what is more than legitimate is you or Vinny or anybody saying we need an investigation of the source of COVID. That everybody, that's a perfectly legit,
right.
But the ultimate question of what the source of COVID is, I want to rely on people who know something.
And who's leading that investigation?
Yeah, exactly.
Who is? I don't know.
That's my fucking point.
And
where's this
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
investigation of COVID?
and I go
They'll
and-
investigate laptops and leaks and this and that.
No.
But
Well,
something that shut down the world for 2.5 years, no investigation. What is happening?
Adam, China runs, bro. If China could fly spy balloons over our entire country, over nuke bases, and nothing happens, nobody's investigating shit. But here's my thing.
Which is absurd.
No, but here's my thing, Jeff. And I'm not an expert. Nobody in here knows shit about epidemiology, right? But guess what? It doesn't help when the experts were trying to talk and the government was silencing them. When Peter McCullough was trying to talk, when Robert Malone was trying to talk, they banned them on YouTube. They took them off Twitter. How do we even have a chance? How am I supposed to learn from the experts when they were shut down and now it's years later and now we're like, oh, it's old news. No.
Right.
Again, accountability. And that's why I had the thing with Joe Rogan. He wants to have that debate with bring a scientist.
Dr. Peter Motel, are you following that story?
I am following.
So
what do you
guess
think about that?
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I mean, I actually am sympathetic. If you want to have a scientific debate, have two scientists debate it, not Joe Rogan against some scientist.
He doesn't want to do that either, though.
RFK.
But Hotez doesn't even want to debate two expert scientists that are on the opposing side. I understand the argument you're saying, like, why should he debate RFK? RFK is not. Fine. Okay, that's a reasonable argument. But why don't you get a couple other experts from the other side who want you to debate?
Totally for that.
Then I respect
think
that.
It's pretty easy to spot which side is right, which side is wrong, which side is the good side, which side is the bad side by who tries to censor the other side more and who is willing to debate more and who is not. And it's so simple, Is there one side that they're censoring the other side? If the answer is yes, then that side's probably pretty bad. And if the other side is like, no, let's just have free speech. Everyone should be able to say whatever they want. Marketplace of ideas, cream rises to the top. The people can decide who they want to listen to and who they believe, who they trust. And that's the side that's normally on the good side for open discussion and open debate. If there's one guy who is going on Joe Rogan and the Patrick Bet-David podcast and all these places, and he's like, this is the truth about this virus and nobody can tell me anything different. And I'm just like, why don't you just debate somebody on the other side and show them you're right with facts and logic and everything like that? And then they're just like, no, I'm not going to do that. You're probably lying. You're probably wrong, like straight up. And even if you're not, if you're that person, you have to accept the fact that if you decline debates like that on something that you claim to be an expert on, you claim to be very well informed about, and you have broad shoulders on the subject, you have to understand that when you decline any and every debate and back down, people are going to automatically assume, like, this guy's a liar and a grifter and he doesn't know what he's talking about. Because why else would anyone decline a debate? An opportunity to prove yourself and how right you really are and how much of an expert you really are on this topic. But why would you decline that unless you're a lying or a grifter? And it's so obvious. Please let me know in the comments how you feel about this or if I just sound crazy.
It's fine. I'm not in that involved. I just having people who know something about it should debate, but I shouldn't debate
No, of course.
those
Jeffrey,
issues,
why do
'cause
you
I don't know
think
anything about it?
Yeah.
America wants to see this debate, conversation, dialogue for sure? Whether it's RFK or Malone or McCulloch, and then versus a Fauci or Dr. Hotep, fill in the blank. In your non-expert legal opinion, why do you think this debate has not happened? Why has it not occurred yet here in America?
Well, it is happening. I mean, look,
Where?
look, we're having
Where?
this conversation.
No. But none of us are experts. I'm talking experts.
There are scientific papers being published all the time
That's not
about
a debate.
COVID.
That's
That
not
is
a debate. No,
That
it's
is
not.
a debate.
Yeah, how many scientific papers have you read recently?
I haven't read it,
Zero.
but I mean, that's-
nobody's reading that.
but that's-
people want to visualize and see
You're
debate
saying like
just
two
like this.
doctors debating with a camera on? Is that kind of what you're saying?
I mean,
for?
yeah, like a debate.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not scientific
Fauci
papers.
and Fauci and Malone.
Not scientific papers.
I think you will. There will be, given the level of interest in it, there will be plenty more discussion on this subject among people who know what they're talking.
There has been, and your side, Lawson, I would agree, we should see debates on camera live in person between these scientists, because these scientific papers and studies and everything, they all get manipulated in some sort of weird censored way. We've seen this with so many different industries, and not just the health industry, but also with looking into the Graham Hancock stuff. He's also somebody that goes on the Joe Rogan show all the time with archaeology and how old human civilization was and all this stuff. There's been so much evidence that Graham Hancock and many other people who are like alternative archaeologists have found that civilization is a lot older than what we think it is, and that there was a lot of things that mainstream archaeology has gotten wrong. And even though Graham Hancock and these guys have such a massive evidence pointing towards this thing, because it doesn't align with the normal explanation that mainstream archaeology gives, they get shunned and blackballed. Please let me know what you think about these kind of conversations. Really curious to hear your comments below. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.